Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you are having a fantastic day. Well, I got a story. I wasn't even going to put out a video today, and then I've been getting calls for the last couple days, and I thought I would share my story because I told you I would tell you some stories about being a travel agent, especially during the pandemic, and this one is good. I have two friends, each went on a separate vacation and didn't tell me that they were going on vacation, probably because I probably would have tried to talk them out of traveling right now. One went to Mexico and one went down to Rio de Janeiro. They left for New Year's. In fact, one left one day after the other left, as a matter. And they don't know each other or nothing like that. And then the rules here in Canada changed. That as of Thursday last week, you now need a negative test to fly back to Canada. Otherwise, you can't come back, and you still have to do a 14-day quarantine when you come back. So, okay, one friend is in school. Schools are now closed. We are under lockdown. So there's no rush for her to be back. Not a big deal. She'll make an appointment. Was planning on lockdown anyway. Isolation. So she knew what she was getting into, and that's it. She's good. My other friend, on the other hand, is still working. Had a 2-week vacation, flew down there, and then was told, oh, by the way, didn't hear about it, by the way, until Friday, which means she's already been down there for 8 days since she flew away. And so she has to be back at work in 6 more days. Well, she panicked. Said, how am I going to get a test? I don't know where to get a test. I have no idea. And she's calling me to help. And I'm going, well, maybe you should call your travel agent. And I was joking with her, of course. I don't expect everybody in my immediate circles to always use me or not to book things themselves or anything like that. It's just funny that I had to get that joke in there, trying to lighten the mood a little bit for her. So I looked up and I found some places, and I got her a place I gave her 6 different places that she could go for a test that will enable her to fly back home. Great. She starts calling those places, and it's by appointment only. So that sounds okay. Let's just make an appointment. Well, the first one she could get is in 7 days. The earliest appointment. Now, she's on a list if there's a cancellation because she's trying to fly home, but 7 days. The day that she's supposed to be back in Canada. So, sorry, I also meant to say that she was supposed to be flying home and then she was going to quarantine for 2 weeks before going back to work. But now, she has, the earliest now is next Friday. And so she's going to be arriving back in Canada and only have a week left to get back to her job, but she has to quarantine for 2 weeks or face $6,000 fines or jail time if she doesn't comply. And her job is not one of those jobs that you can just kind of abandon. They are limited resources. She has an important role, and if you don't show up, they're not going to be happy at all, especially if it's because you traveled outside the country during a do not travel warnings that have been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks here in Canada. So I just kind of okay, well, you kind of get what you're looking for. If I was traveling right now and anywhere I would go, I would be trying to check the news stories every single day to see if there's any new travel restrictions coming in case I have to get home right away. Because in all honesty, there could be some travel restrictions coming down the road where they're just going to say, okay, we're stopping all incoming flights from this country, that country. Because it's highly possible. Because of all the new strains that are popping out of the virus, like the UK and South Africa. They keep on telling us, well, travel spread is really, really low and it's very minimal. But the only way the variant can possibly get into our country is if somebody's traveled. And it may only be 0.01% of people traveling in the country, but if that person brings over a super spreader virus, it's still going to spread. So yeah, not closing the airlines, yet closing people in their houses really isn't accomplishing a whole lot as far as the new strain of the virus is concerned. So she's freaking out, asking me what I can do and how I can get can I get an exception to get back to work? And because she's not, the job she has is a hands-on job. She cannot do it from home. It involves high-tech, basically working in a laboratory kind of setting. And you have to be using the actual products. It's nothing working on a computer. So she's wondering what she can do and all this. And I said, well, actually there's absolutely nothing I can do. All I could do is get her that test. And I said, I would be calling those places that you can get the test done every single day. And about 2 or 3 times a day. And try and get an earlier one. And hope there's a cancellation. And that's about all. So that's like a little warning I just wanted to give people out there, that if you have any thoughts of traveling anywhere in the world right now, don't just unplug and turn off, because that may turn around and you're stuck there. And not only that, many times now your insurance is not going to cover you if the airlines aren't flying, because you are now against a travel restriction in your country and you traveled, you may never see a dime. So it could become hugely costly. This person already has to spend almost an extra week at a hotel and pay for it all out of her own money, as well as she missed her first flight. She has, and it wasn't, they allowed her to rebook it, but now she misses the next one, or if there's an earlier one and she wants to try and move it again, it could cost her more money for that. So just a pain in the butt, right? Just a pain in the butt. But I just found it funny that they didn't call me to use me to book their travel, but they called me to fix their travel. So yeah, it's a rough time right now. In the travel industry, as everybody out there knows. It's rough in the restaurant industry, it's rough in the movie business, it's just rough. And things are not looking any brighter in the near future. Not at all. So yeah, I would love to be traveling. I really would love to have flown down to Jamaica or something and just spend a couple weeks in a hotel and just stay at the ocean. And that was it. But yeah, knowing the way things turn around like this, not a good idea these days. Not a good idea. So there you go. I'm getting calls from people who don't even use me and ask me to help solve their issues that happen. And it happens all the time. But I'm still going to do it. It's just funny to me. It's just kind of funny. So there you go. There's your little story today. This happened literally the last 2 days. And so I just thought I'd share that. Just some of the funny things that sometimes goes on that have nothing to do with me or my business, but I just still have to deal with it. Well, until next time, everybody, hey, hope you're all safe, stay well, and we'll see you in the next video.